Stellanite constellar diamond is based on the winter hexagon, which is a prominent winter asterism comprised of Rigel, Aldebaran, Capella, Pollux, Sirius, and Procyon, which are all individual Satellanite or constellar monsters, and this hexagon can be seen in the background of the card's artwork. This was also the first Worm Xyz monster, and the first non-warrior Tellarknight monster. Card of Safe Return features 3 cards in its card art, however its effect only allows you to draw 1 card. This is because in the original effect of this card, as shown in the manga and anime, allows you to draw 3 cards. If Elemental Hero Flame Wingman is fusion summoned with Elemental Hero Avian and Burstinatrix, which is then fused with Elemental Hero Sparkman, Elemental Hero Shining Flare Wingman will be summoned with the combined attack of its fusion materials, as the monster will have 3700 attack due to its effect. Tsukumo can be read as the Japanese word for number 99. When the card Tsukumo Slash was activated in the manga, the difference between Yuma and Astral's life points was 99, as Yuma had 1 life point and Astral had 100, and number 39 Utopia was able to gain 9900 attack due to this card's effect. This was also the last card to be used in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal manga. Earthbound Prison was the first field spell to appear in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V that wasn't an action field or a speed world card. Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon was the first Photon number monster. Red Supernova Dragon is the only synchro monster that specifically requires 3 tuner monsters as synchro materials. Gandora X, the Dragon of Demolition, is the only Gandora monster to not have an effect of banishing cards and to inflict effect damage to the opponent. This card received an errata in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links and Master Duel before the OCG. Meteor Black Dragon has the same defense as both of its fusion materials, as Red Eyes Black Dragon, Meteor Dragon, and Meteor Black Dragon all have 2000 defense. Both the Monster Heroic Champion Excalibur and the Equip spell card Excalibur both have effects which double a monster's original attack. However, the sword that appears in the Equip spell Excalibur doesn't appear to be the same sword that Heroic Champion Excalibur is holding. In Norse mythology, Mjolnir is the name of the weapon used by Thor, and in the card art of Thor, Lord of the Aesir, he can be seen holding a weapon. However, this weapon doesn't appear to share any similarities with the card Divine Relic Mjolnir. Number 8 Heraldic King Genome Heritage is one of the few Xyz monsters whose effect does not involve detaching its own Xyz materials. This was also the first Psychic number monster. It was also the first number monster that required Xyz materials of a specific archetype, which was Heraldic Beasts. The monster Guardian Chimera is based around the number 3. The monster has 3300 attack and defense. Its level is 9, which is 3 squared, and the monster also requires 3 fusion materials with different names. The card also appears with 3 heads, however there is a 4th snake-like head that appears on the card's tail. Guardian Chimera also consists of 15 letters, which is a multiple of 3. Sky Dragoons of Draconia was the first winged beast type pendulum monster in the TCG, but not the OCG. The first winged beast type pendulum monster in the OCG was Performapal Odd-Eye's Light Phoenix. Relinquished has the lowest level and original attack and defense of any ritual monster. Dragon Necro Nether Soul Dragon was the first fusion monster to appear in the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's manga. This was the first monster to feature an effect that prevents it from destroying other monsters by battle. It's time for a trivia round. Which of these characters won the most duels in their own respective series on screen, with a total of 15 on-screen wins? Could it be A, Joey Wheeler, or maybe it's B, Jack Atlas, or is it C, Kite Tenjo? The correct answer is A, Joey Wheeler. Both Overlay Booster and Overlay Sentinel share the same attributes and original attack and defense, and both feature an effect where they can be summoned in defense position. They also feature opposing effects, as Overlay Booster allows you to target one face-up Xyz monster you control that has Xyz material, which gains 500 attack for each Xyz material attached to it, whereas Overlay Sentinel targets one monster your opponent controls, which loses 500 attack for each Xyz material attached to a monster you control. Additionally, in the card's artworks, Overlay Sentinel is facing left, whereas Overlay Booster faces to the right. Super Fusion God has the highest minimum requirement of fusion materials out of all fusion monsters, and it's also one of the only 2 fusion monsters that specifically require super polymerization for their fusion summon, the other one being colorless, Chaos King of Dark World. And interestingly, both monsters were mentioned in the anime but never appeared on screen. Avenging Knight Parsheth, Guardian Angel Joan, and Hainwater appear in the card artwork for Shining Rebirth, and fittingly, Guardian Angel Joan and Hainwater can be used as synchro materials to synchro summon Avenging Knight Parsheth. Both Shield Wing and Silver Wing were both cards used by Yusei Fudo in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, and both cards have an effect that prevent a monster from being destroyed twice per turn in battle. Megamorph was the first ever spell card to be used in the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga, with it first being played in the duel between Yami Yugi and Seto Kaiba, where Kaiba activated the card to power up his Battleox. 2 gold coins appear in the trade-in card artwork, and they both feature an etching of Winged Karibo on them. This same type of coin also appears in the artwork of Lucky Chance. Robin Goblin was the first card that randomly removed cards from your opponent's hand. There are only 5 water attribute thunder type monsters, and only one of them is an effect monster, and that monster is Tribe Shocking Virus. Gyakuten Megami is the card that Kaiba uses to stop a gun in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. Flower Guardian Willow with Calligrapher is the only level 11 tuner monster, and is the highest level tuner monster in the game. Lavarval Chain was the first fire attribute Sea Serpent type monster, and this card's attack, defense, and type are all the same as Gishki Chain. Contact Gate shows 6 beams of light, each of which represents one of the Neo-Spacian monsters based on their attribute. Green represents Air Hummingbird, blue represents Aquadolphin, yellow clearly represents Grand Mole, red represents Flare Scarab, white represents Glowmoss, and purple represents Dark Panther. Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys has an effect which reflects its name. A phoenix is a mythological creature which is often associated with rising from the ashes, which could reflect this monster's ability to return from the graveyard. Additionally, Nephthys was an Egyptian goddess which was associated with birth and death, which could also serve as a link to the card's effect. Valkyrian the Magna Warrior is the only monster with an original defense of 3,850. In the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime and manga, this card was treated as a fusion monster, as it was affected by the effect of defusion, and this, by extension, technically makes this card the first monster to be summoned via contact fusion. So you made it this far, but can you answer this? There are 2 cards which have been semi-limited longer than any other card. One of them is Reinforcements of the Army, but which is the other? Leave your answers in the comments.